Greetings and welcome again to the 0 Hour Square Show, coming to you live from Community Cable Public Access Channel 27 in your rotten, filthy, stinky, sweaty, nasty, disgusting, rash-infected, crab-infested pie hole. I am your host, Mr. Mike Trujillo, and happy Rock'n'Rolla Friday to you all. Yes, this is the 0 Hour Square Show. As I mentioned, coming to you live from Channel 27. I want to acknowledge first the fine efforts of my staff, friends, crew, everybody that's in here tonight, starting with folks in Master Control, Mr. Adrian Hernandez, who brings the magic to Channel 27 and Channel 26, basically doing his job. Very, very cool. And I also want to I want to thank the camera crew that I've got in here, starting with Miss Bobby Davis, right behind camera number 3. On camera number 2, we've got the director of a new show getting ready to pop out here and devastate Albuquerque, New Mexico, and beyond, Mr. Thomas Martin. Thomas, ¿qué te pasa? Thank you very much. Also on camera number 1, we've got Chelsea Fox, who works for Encantada TV, Channel 26, Channel 27, and also for Music Unite as well. Chelsea, ¿qué te pasa? And in the control room, not screwing up audio tonight, doing a very good job, and a brand new tattoo from Pink Floyd on his left arm, his mistress, if you will. That would be Mr. Daniel Akins, and he's got a very nice Pink Floyd tattoo on his arm. Very cool stuff. And directing the show, don't spruce the goose, and definitely don't hassle the Hoff. Mr. Alden Bruce is our director, and I want to thank them all very, very much. We've got some very special guests in the studio, kicking back with our, they're just chilling. We got Guillermo, who's chilling out the back out there. He's one of the producers for Music Unite as well. And Amanda, where's Amanda? She's running around here with a piece of barbecued something. But we've got very, very special guests in the studio tonight. I'm going to have these gentlemen introduce themselves, who they are, but I will first tell you what they do. They work for a very, very cool local record label here and beyond, abroad. It's not just localized, but I'm going to let these guys describe it and talk to it in their own words of how they put it together. And I've known this gentleman for quite some time. We've never really gone through battle together, but we're about to. Also, he's one of the executive producers of Music Unite. You keep hearing me talk about Music Unite. We'll get to that here shortly. But also, Mysteria Records is the label that they produce here, or that they have created here in Albuquerque. And they've got some killer acts. They've got Blind Drive on their label, Michael Lee Ostrander, Voice of December, a band from Acoma, really cool, When Darkness Falls. And who else do we got on there? Durango.
Enemy.
That's right. Okay. And don't worry about screaming in the mics. You guys are mic'd up. You're good. Tim, talk to us. Tell us your first and last name and go down the line, if you will, please.
All right. I'm Tim Griffiths Garcia. I guess I started Mysteria Records out about 2007 by myself. Kind of the story that goes behind that is I used to do a lot of the book a lot of the bands at Heroes and Legends, and you know, I had a battle of the bands up there, and When Darkness Falls was in that in the battle of the bands, and pretty much they got second place in there, and I kind of got pissed off, and I thought, well, I want to do something about that, so I got it all together and got their first CD together and kind of started the label like that. So that's kind of the story behind it. It's kind of the reason I did do the label, but it's come a long way.
Very cool. Let's go on down the line, then I've got to take a step back and announce a couple other things quickly. But
So James and I basically saw Tim coming with this label and thought he needed a bodyguard at first, and decided to get his back.
Still does.
I got his back, and we've kind of grown together as a partnership, and kind of learning the ins and outs of getting the things done properly. So I'm more behind the scenes than Tim, but I kind of deal with the bands on the contract issues and whatnot, and try to get that going.
Oh, look at that. How professional is that? I'm not even drinking. Wow, that was a blooper. I just pulled my mic cord by accident, but we got the youngster in this unit right here as well with Mysteria Records. What's your name, sir?
How's it going? My name is Jay Griego. Recently added to the record label, bringing a new flavor to the mix. I do mostly media relations, but I'm dipping my hands into whatever.
Very cool, very cool. I got to digress for just a second and announce the 3 videos that we did open up the 0 Hour Squared show. You did just see Bob Marley and the Wailers, and the Wailers will be coming through town, and we've got tickets for that in the next, when we're done with our interview here, so stand by for that. By the way, the Wailers are going to be playing with a group called Dwayne Stevenson. This guy's pretty badass, and he's an uprising up and rising reggae artists, if you will. They're going to be doing the whole Uprising album, which is going to be really cool. Also, you saw in there Van Halen. I was inspired by Jim Rome this week, who had Sammy Hagar on there, and that was a very, very cool interview. Very cool. And the Big Dirty Band. Canadian supergroup is what they tell me. It is super only because Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee are in it, but the other folks in this, I hate grabbing stuff off of Wikipedia because this could be all wrong, but I was in a hurry. But if any of you are familiar with Thornley's and Big Rex Ian Thornley, he also played vocals and guitar. 3 Days Grace's Adam Gontier, vocals and guitar, and the Mannequins, Care Failure on vocals, and the Tea Party drummer, Jeff Burrows. And the Big Dirty Band is a band that they work with this project called the Trailer Park Boys, and it's kind of the Canadian version of the Jerky Boys, if you will. It's pretty funny stuff. Go online, check it out. But anyways, let's get back to these gentlemen that are here to represent Mysteria Records and Music Unite and several other things, man. So, Tim, I know both you gentlemen have been around the scene forever, and we were, before the show, we were talking about just all of our experience and stuff. But there was a void to be filled. There's a lot of little labels, independent here in Albuquerque, but yours seems to be pretty successful in the fact that well, how did you make it successful? How did you make it bigger than some of the ones that we're seeing? You also have a unique connection with the Universal Group. Kind of tell us the whole story of how your label got put together.
Well, just basically hard work and trial and error and learning a lot about the business. And because, you know, honestly, when I first started, I didn't really know a damn thing about it. So, but now I've learned a lot, and then that's where he comes in. Basically, with, like, you know, with the contracts and the legal stuff, we have like a legal attorney and stuff. So
what we
kind of
saw,
got slapped around a little bit on
right.
some stuff. But
what we saw was we wanted to fill a void with keeping the music in the hands of the artists. You know, keeping the songwriting royalties and the ownership of the songs in the hands of the artists instead of the record labels, and partner with these guys and help them bring them along the way and produce quality CDs, not backyard, you know, worldwide quality CDs, and that's kind of where we're at.
Right. So, which was your first band that you signed?
it was When Darkness Falls.
When Darkness Falls. And those cats, again, they're from Acoma, and they played a benefit show for the 0 Hour Squared show in Channel 27 at Launchpad a couple of years ago. I think it was near Christmas, and man, those guys brought it. They are a serious, serious unit. They're very heavy. They're very angry. That's what I love about them, is that their music, it definitely resonates. It's some tough stuff. But what do you look for when you're getting ready to sign a band?
Basically anymore, we just look at bands that really have their act together, you know. I mean, professionally on stage and transportation, just the whole rounded deal, you know. You know, because that's what I've learned, and, you know, having the label now, is that it's got to be a complete package.
Right.
Artists that want it.
Right. What about yourself? When you're involved in this deal, what exactly is your role? What do you have to do in regards to Mysteria Records?
Well, basically my role is to promote and publish anything blasted on the internet, get people to shows, put out flyers, whatever these guys need me for. Videos. I executive produced the Blind Drive music video.
Nice, and we're going to play that here shortly.
Street Team.
There you go.
Street Team, basically, yeah.
Right. So you're the triple-headed monster that goes out.
Yeah, just whatever they need.
When you're looking at a band, do you think, you know, and if they're an unsigned band, an independent local artist, you know, and when you watch them, do you automatically think to yourself, I really would like to go after them and chase them, and then it kind of goes after that? And is it only metal that you look for?
Well, yeah, basically that's from my roots, man, you know. I come from the UFO days and Nazareth. So that's, I don't know, I get off on bands that are just, you know, a little different.
Nice.
And that's, you know, if you look at the bands on the label, they are really a versatile, you know, selection of bands. I'm not really just pinholed on one thing, but like Mike Ostrander's like out there, you know.
Right.
And then, you know, the other end you got killer ass, you know, band Blind Drive.
Right.
So.
And also Voice of December. All of the bands that you have are very well-seasoned, good, tight artists. They're not just fly-by-night. It's not just... what I think about the way the label is put together, again, it's got a very professional approach. It's not just this thing, oh, I'm going to, you know, get a couple $100 and we're going to record this and it sounds okay and blah, 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 and then you try to walk the walk. But you seriously have walked the walk and talked the talk for many years. You gentlemen are veteranos like me. We're old bastards, but we've seen it all. Everything from UFO to some of the craziest independent alternative bands that are out there, and we're still seeing and going through the business. But in your estimation, how do you see the direction of music going from just Albuquerque and New Mexico? How do you see and feel that the scene, where do you see it's going?
Albuquerque's got so much talent. There's really a lot of talent here. We need the world to see the talent. That's kind of basically why I kind of got the Universal, group thing through the Architects music group. Kind of hooked me up with that. I want to get these bands out there in the world where, people are noticing Albuquerque and noticing the bands and the talent that come from here. Even like what you do, you're out there in the world, but. And it's like the Music Unite thing. We're all working real hard on that. I don't know, you might bring that up in a while, but that's kind of a thing we've all worked together on.
Right. Now let's go ahead and segue into that right now. Music Unite. I'm going to play, Alden, if you'll run the clip really quick, and then we're going to talk about that, since we have several of the family that's working together to put this really tremendous show together. And the executive producer, Cheryl Roberts, we're going to shout out to her. Eventually we're going to get her on 0 Hour Squared television show, as well as the 0 Hour Squared radio show, which I want to remind you, 11 o'clock tonight on 6:10 a.m., the Sports Animal 0 Hour Squared radio show. And I've got a very cool interview with Mr. Stephen Michael Quesada from Breaking Bad fame, and we're going to play a couple of songs from his house band on that show, which is the James Douglas show. Yeah, how can I forget that?
Buddy Marco.
Yeah, there you go. I've got a couple of songs slated to play of those guys tonight on the show as well. Again, that's 11 o'clock, 6:10 a.m., the Sports Animal. Let's go ahead and run this quick clip of Music Unite, and then we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to talk more about Mysteria Records and the future of what's going on with this label.